Greetings, Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome to what I believe is the best indie game of 2022 and the recipient of my Golden Goat Award. An award that I give to the best of the best indie games every year. Ready or Not by Void Interactive is one of the most realistic police simulators I have ever played. The game has 6 giant maps with dozens of different scenarios to explore. There are hundreds of different weapons and mods, and a level of detail and options that put most AAA games to shame. Now, in their effort to create the most realistic police simulator out there, the developers have earned themselves a bit of flack. Some of these scenarios you will attend include events that happen at a school. Now, because of YouTube, I can't go into any more detail, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The developers have shown nothing but care and respect for the police. They don't condone any of the criminal actions in the game, and just overall the game is treated with nothing but respect and care. So I don't understand the criticism, I really don't. With that being said, let's have a look at Ready or Not. Every match in Ready or Not begins in the home base, a squad room, and this is where you can set up your loadout. I'm going to show you some of the different weapons and equipment you can get your hands on. We're going for a less lethal approach, and this means that we're rolling with a combination of beanbag shotguns and pellet guns. We're using tasers, and this will give us the largest chance of being able to subdue the criminals without any fatalities. Now, of course, these are less lethal. So a shotgun full of beanbags in the face is still going to kill someone, where our goal is to try and avoid opening fire unless we need to. I'm going to show you the weapon upgrade system next, because this is probably one of my favorite parts of the game. I love being able to customize weapons. This game has a bunch of options. Now, I'm using an R7 launcher, which is a less lethal rifle that fires pellets. You can see here we have a number of different sights. I might try the holographic sight. We've got a number of different grips that will help with the stability of the gun. In this case, we'll try a vertical grip, and we've got a laser sight as well. Now, in terms of pistols, we're using a taser, and the taser's pretty much what you see is what you get. It has 1 charge and 4 additional magazines we can use. So a very situational weapon. I often find that the pistol, if you're using it, you tend to use it in close quarters when you can't bring your main weapon to bear. We're going to play the first mission, and this time we're going to go for the barricaded subject scenario, and this means that we're going to be responding to a crime with a number of suspects that have basically taken over the station, and they're basically negotiating with the police. Things are broken down. They're worried about the safety of the civilians, and we're going to be sent in to ensure that they are brought out safely. Now, the men are using a combination of the R7 launchers and beanbag shotguns. That does mean that occasionally one of them's got an actual shotgun, so it's possible that a few of these criminals will be going to the pearly gates if they decide to not play ball. We're going to roll up here and stack up on the door with a mirror.
Copy that.
And I'm going to show you the 2 different styles of the game. We're going to go with this very tactical, non-lethal approach, and then we're just going to pull out all the stops. I wasn't listening to what he said, so there may be some crims in here. Now, doors are context sensitive. Depending on where you select the door, you can kick the door open, you can breach it with a charge, or you can just peek on the door and just gently nudge it open. And most of the time, that is the option you want to take. Now, because we've got a pretty big area here, let's just restrain the civilian. You need to restrain everybody, whether they're civilians or criminals, because you don't know. The criminals have a really good job of masquerading as civilians.
Talk to entry team. Roger that. Trailers incoming. Proceed with caution.
So we've now secured the open part of the opening of the station. We need to be very careful.
Hands up, do it now.
We got one criminal there.
Get down.
We can hear him crying. I think he's a civvy.
Hands up. Drop your knees.
Civilian in sight.
Make him secure.
You have to be careful because some criminals they can surrender and then change their mind, pull out a knife and start stabbing. They can hide an extra gun. They may drop their gun but have a pistol hidden down the back of their pants.
Trailers inbound.
You have to be very careful. And often, 9 times out of 10, you want to have one officer arresting and another officer pointing something very big at their face to give them incentive not to misbehave. Some doors are locked. Again, I could kick this down, but I'm trying to go for a more professional approach. Pretty open area here. This is not an ideal way to fight, so we're gonna flip the script a bit. There's a side entrance here. We're gonna open that and see if we can flank whoever may be in the next door. So, just gonna order my men to
Stay on.
fall in behind me.
Right behind you.
Peek again.
Chem light out. Deploy chem light. Deploy chem light.
There we go. So sometimes using a...
Put your hands up.
It's a bit dark in here. I should have brought a flashlight.
Restrained target advised I have unarmed contact.
Hands up.
Contact is restrained.
So we need to clear each of these rooms individually. We need to be very careful. Most of the criminals in this first area
Hands up. Put your head. Get down. Hold up the hands. Police, get down. Down on your knees.
some of the civilians won't comply because they're scared.
Civilian in
They're
sight.
panicking.
Make him secure.
Cuffed and secured. She's not going anywhere.
We've got a DOA, so obviously they've tried to rob the place.
Great work, entry team. Keep it up.
We're doing well. So in this standard mode, we'll often only be fighting a few criminals. The main challenge is trying to determine the difference between the criminals and the civilians. They do a very good job of hiding. And sometimes we'll hide out deliberately, using the civilians as a shield. So we're doing very well so far.
Chem light out.
Light this place up a bit. Yep, I think we're okay. Now the next thing we need to do is clear the main restaurant area, and this is often where we have to be worried because they could be firing into the restaurant.
Okay.
Get
I'm
some
on your 6.
cover up in here, and these.
Down on your knees.
That is a civilian. You should be careful though.
Hands up. Make him secure.
We're doing well so far.
Contact in custody.
Just have a peek out here, make sure there's... Oh, there you go, there's another civvy.
Talk to element.
Drop your weapons.
Copy, entry team. Outside trailer.
Drop the gun. Don't make me shoot you.
You can see he had a knife.
Restrain targets. Drop your weapon.
All right. Contact is in
Get
custody.
down. Hold the hands.
Shut up.
You can see he only had a knife, but you couldn't tell. He didn't. He had it in his hand, and I
Incoming. Proceed with caution.
could see he had something in his hand. Okay, so now we've got the. Oh, I see one civvy. Oh no! Oh, he just took the civvy out.
Restrained targets. Suspect DOA.
I don't know if he shot him or our police officer did. I think he did. I think the crim shot his friend in the back. There goes our flawless score for this map.
Talk to element. Roger, entry team.
So you want to try and do this without any casualties, which we've obviously failed.
One person looks to be unarmed.
No casualties with police or criminals.
See your hands. Unarmed contact.
Down on your knees.
It's okay, he's one of ours.
Restrained targets.
Okay, all
Okay, we've got
done.
another civilian.
Ready.
Secure.
So I've only got one fatality. Still not ideal.
Talk to entry team. Great work, entry team. Keep it up.
Secured and ready for pickup.
Talk to entry team. Roger, entry team. Great work. Keep going.
So that's most of the criminals. I think that we've only got... We may have missed a few people. So we'll just go back and check all the civilians are secure. We have to be careful. The criminals won't stay in one area. They'll dynamically move around the map. And in most cases, they can hide behind civilians. And they have very little regard for human life. You can see he just shot his friend in the back there. We were mainly rolling with a less lethal gun, so I don't think it was us that killed him.
Falling behind me. Police, hands up. Make him secure.
One contact spotted.
Yeah, I'm glad he wasn't a criminal. I probably would have been dead then. I didn't even see him hiding behind the bush.
You're lucky this didn't end worse.
Talk to entry team.
Oh, that was a suspect.
Work, entry team. Keep it up.
Very good. Okay. So we'll continue. That was rookie mistake. We'll continue moving around the perimeter. Make sure we haven't missed anyone. Now it's a lot easier rolling with lethal weapons, but if you want that high score, you're going to have to try and at least resolve crimes with a minimum of loss. And the less lethal weapons, once you get used to them, are pretty effective. I can't believe these guys are civilians, but I'm not taking any chances. Just give me an excuse, buddy.
Restrained target. Make him secure.
Unarmed contact.
All done. Contact is secure.
Okay, so we've got all the civilians.
Talk reporting. Roger that. Trailers incoming. Proceed with caution.
One more.
Move over there.
Getting there now.
Hands up above your head.
So only a couple of criminals with knives. This is pretty straightforward. You often will find a few that have guns.
Contact in custody.
Talk to entry team. Copy that. Put him on safe and let him hang. Great job.
And there you go. We got a B, which is pretty impressive. So the reason why we got a penalty was obviously that criminal had shot his friend in opening fire on us. He shot his friend. Oh no, an S. Damn. So that's actually a new record for me. And S rank is the best possible rank you can get for a mission. So we managed to complete the first mission in a little bit over 10 minutes. We got an S rank with the best outcome that you can get. So I think that is probably the absolute best way I could have showcased this game. Now I'd like to do a follow-up video where we try this mission again with some of the different types, such as a raid, a bomb threat, a suspects that are barricaded, terrorist threats. There's about 6 different types of missions. So you've got 6 missions with 6 different variations. You can have all. You can try a lethal, non-lethal approach. You can change your weapons around, and some of the later missions it will take you several tries to complete them because you've got big missions with a lot of suspects. Playing the later missions on raid is an incredible challenge. So I hope you enjoyed this first look at Ready or Not. I would love to play this game again, and I hope the developers, if they do see this, reach out to me with, and hopefully if they're interested, I'd love to play this with my friends, get everybody into a police squad, and really play the game with an actual squad of people. And then I think that's where the game really, really starts to open up. Again, I can't recommend this game enough. The only thing is that the game is incredibly expensive at $50 Australian, but with that being said, you're going to get hundreds of hours of enjoyment out of this game. It's a fantastic multiplayer game and just an incredible game overall, one that astonishes me that indie gaming companies just keep impressing me over and over again. Check this one out. Thanks to the developers for letting me try this game out, and hopefully you join me next time when we look at another indie game. Until then, Skill Incarnate, out.